Google Analytics is an amazing tool to figure out what's working so you can go double down on that tactic. What content's working, what traffic sources are best, what campaigns. Very, very useful, but there's another way to use it. To figure out what's broken, what's not working. This video will show you how to identify gaps. Are there broken links? Are there bad URLs? You're about to learn to do a turbo website audit using Google Analytics. Hi, this is Andy from Orbit Media. We're a web design firm here in Chicago. And we're going to jump right in. I'm going to show you how to find bad pages, broken links, 404s, browser issues, content gaps, all using Google Analytics. Before we do, if you're watching this on YouTube, look in the description. You'll find a link to take you to an article that shows you exactly how to do this entire process step by step with screenshots showing you exactly where to click. So let's jump right in, starting where to find bad pages and broken URLs in Google Analytics. Are there broken pages or bad URLs on this website? The first thing we need to do to answer this question is to just go to a bad page on this website. So I'm here on a page on the Orbit site. I'm going to just put in a bunch of junk after the URL just to go to a page that doesn't exist. There it is. I just, like the cat jumping on the keyboard, here's a bad page. This page has a page title of page not found. So the trick is to go to Analytics and look for pages, or URLs rather, that have that page title. So I'm going to go into Analytics. Naturally, this would be under Behavior, Site Content, All Pages. And I've got a nice long date range here because we don't have tons of bad URLs on our site. I'm going to need that. And I'm going to switch to the page title primary dimension. Primary dimension is, of course, that first column. But when I switch to the page title, because all of these pages have different URLs, but the same page title, I can just put in page not found into the filter and find them all in 1 second. Page not found. So when I filter the page title primary dimension for that, I'm going to find it. There it is right there. There's been a couple of thousand over the last years. Now when I click to drill down on that, I can, the dimension in the drill down is going to go back to the page dimension, which is the URL, which will show me a list of all the broken pages on this website, all the bad URLs that have been accessed. There you go. These are all pages that have shown up in as the URL when there was no corresponding page. The page was not found, the 404. Voila. The next step here would be to go look at all these bad URLs and figure out which of these pages should be redirected to a corresponding page. So you can create 301 redirects that will guide people from these pages that don't exist to the corresponding page. Sometimes these are left over as fragments from a website redesign, or sometimes there's a bad link on someone else's website coming to these pages. For a variety of reasons, we will want to help these visitors get to the correct page, what they were looking for. And now we can answer the next question in our mini analytics-driven website audit, which is, are there broken links between pages on this website? To find broken links on this website, I'm going to click on any one of these pages that doesn't exist. That's going to take me to the same report with just one row. Not very insightful until we scroll up and click on the navigation summary, which shows me how people got to this bad page. The previous page path shows me if there are pages on my site that brought people to this broken page. Here's one. It's a blog post that's linking to that page that doesn't exist. User flow, Google Analytics. Let's go to that page. Copied it, pasted it in here. And apparently it has a bad link to that page about SEO content marketing. So if I scroll down here, I can probably find it. If it seems like it's hard to find, I can right-click, go to View Page Source, and then just do Control F to find that page, which was SEO content something. Here it is, SEO and content marketing. Control F, SEO and content. There it is. Well-optimized website. This seems to be the broken link on this page. Go back, Control F. There it is. Well-optimized website. This is a broken link on my website, which I found using analytics in just a few seconds. The next question we're going to answer with this mini audit is my site working well in every browser? To answer this one, we're going to go to Audience, technology, browser, and OS, which brings us to a list of every browser that's been used to access the website, sorted by order of popularity. And over here to the right, you'll see all the behavior metrics or engagement metrics such as bounce rate, pages per session, average session duration. We're looking for outliers that would indicate that there's a problem with the website on a certain browser. One way that you can help these jump out at you is to switch to the comparison view, for which you can select any metric and have it compare that metric to the average for the website. So when I switch to bounce rate, I can see that yes, in fact, there are some browsers that have higher bounce rates, quite a bit higher bounce rates than average. This, although not super alarming in this case, would indicate that it'd be worth testing the website, going back and doing a fresh round of browser compatibility testing on those different browsers. That brings us to the next question we can answer, which is, for e-commerce, is the shopping cart working in every browser? Is the shopping cart broken anywhere? This one could cost you money. This is what it looks like. So again, I'm in a different account now. Audience, technology, browser, and OS. For e-commerce, this report shows you not just the behavior metrics, but the conversion metrics in this case are for different browsers. So you can see the e-commerce conversion rate for various browsers. Now, it looks like the e-commerce conversion rates on this site are actually, for some browsers, north of 1%, but others just north of 2%. But for others, it's just over 1%. These are very popular browsers with far fewer than the expected number of transactions and amount of revenue for these devices, or for these browsers, which in this case is pretty alarming. What you can do in these cases is to drill down to see the specific versions of each browser. So the drill down for the browser and OS report will show you the different versions of these browsers. I'm looking at Safari, and I can see that there are super low conversion rates for certain versions of these browsers, where maybe you get like 1.5%, close to 2% conversion rates for normal visits. Some of these are basically 0.02%. Something's broken, something's wrong, something's seriously wrong. So in this case, when we look at this for e-commerce, this site badly needs browser compatibility testing in the cart for certain browser versions. Again, back at the all browsers view, you can see I'm looking at a date range of a couple of months. The expected sales were all those browsers performing at the normal rate would be literally millions of dollars. In this case, for this website, it was indeed a browser compatibility problem in the cart. You can see I changed the date range to show the before and after the fix was made, and it is literally $10 million over a few month period. This is like a look at the revenue difference after the fix was made, the conversion rate lift. This was basically analytics finding for us like a $5 million a month problem. So sometimes just a few clicks, the value is extremely high. The next question we're going to answer is, was there a sudden drop in the traffic? This one is not technically an audit, but more like an alert. It's an alert that we can set up. So in the admin section, under Account, Property, and View, alerts are set up by the views. So if you come down here to the bottom, there's an option to create custom alerts. Click on Custom Alerts. I've already made one, but I'll make it again so you can see me do it. Custom alerts are a way to have analytics basically notify you when certain criteria are met. To create one, just click on the big red button for a new alert. The alert name, I'm going to call mine, which I already made this one, I'll call it Traffic Drop. You can have it for any views you want. So I'm just going to leave mine on this view. And you can have it at different frequencies, day, week, month. And you can have it set to email you when the alert is triggered. It's going to email whichever account you're logged in as, or you can set it to go to all different accounts if you wanted to. Set it to, I'll have this one go to myself. And then this, what are the criteria? So this applies to all traffic. This is so easy. When sessions are less than whatever you want your threshold to be. And then click to save the alert. Now Google Analytics is going to send you an email when that criteria is met, so that you'll know if the website went down, of course, although there should be plenty of server-side things and server administrators who are helping to make sure things stay alive, but also just if analytics gets disconnected somehow. If you kick the plug out and the cord comes out and the analytics is no longer working, obviously it's not something you plug into the wall, but it's a good way to make sure that there are no errors with your website. I'm going to answer one more question in our mini audit here, which is content gaps. Are there searches with no search results? To answer this question, we're back in the behavior section. Behavior, site search, search terms shows you every phrase that people search for using the search tool on your website. So I'm just going to go to the blog and you can see what I mean by search. This is site search, as in on-site search, which is basically just the place where the visitor can click and then type in a query and they're searching your website for that query. If you have it set up properly and your website is such that the query they searched for is pushed into the URL, just make sure that you've got the query parameter and site search set up. We've got another video about how to set up Google Analytics, complete detailed article that lists, I think, 51 clicks to set up analytics so that all these things are in place. I'm just going to assume that you have this set up properly, and if you do, site search terms report, as well as the other reports in this subsection here, are all going to populate with data in this report, all the data that people searched for. So over here on the right, you can see the metrics that go with these dimensions, and these percent search exits is going to be insightful for you because it's going to show you people who searched but then didn't engage with the content, didn't dig in, didn't go to subsequent pages. So following the search, they just didn't click. So some of these numbers are higher than others. To see the comparison of that number to the site's average, again, I'm going to switch to the comparison view. You can tell now I like these views. And when I search for percent search exits and I scroll down, I can quickly get a sense for content gaps. People are searching for this, but far less likely to engage with the search results page. People searching for this, far less likely to engage with the search results page. So this is a fast way to identify content gaps where your audience is literally typing in a keyboard what they want from you and likely not finding it. So that's a quick way to wrap up our mini website audit that uses Google Analytics. Cool. That was it. Hopefully you found this useful. Subscribe if you like more of this content. We're going to keep publishing these. They're kind of fun to make. And if you know someone else who would benefit from this mini audit, feel free to send this along. Thanks again. This is Andy from Orbit, and we'll see you next time.